Hey guys, so we ran out of content.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
बंद करो हाथ जोड़ के मैं
Comment down below what our next episode should be. But while we have you, let's talk about a side that we don't often address, and often a lot of podcasters, a lot of media fail to address, which is the dark side of sport. Now, I'm not talking about betting, and fixing. वो तो चलते रहता है. Hashtag रियन पराग.
मुझे क्यों तोड़ा
But let's talk about the sides of injuries. Let's talk about the idea of recovery, the comeback stories, and you might be thinking, oh, he means Yuvraj Singh. He means the great comebacks from like Rishabh Pant, and no, and we're going to talk about ourselves here. हमारा podcast है. What did you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Ishan obviously is nursing an injury. I'm coming out of an injury as well. So let's start off with our stories in this. Firstly, what is your take on cricket and injuries? Like, what is the relationship
I
here?
don't know. Like that's the thing. Like you cannot play cricket, you cannot play sport without facing this side as well. Like
Yeah.
especially as people who think we bowl fast, and that's the thing. Fast bowlers have to there's so much weight going through the body through the action as well. It's so difficult to not. Have any injuries any point, and especially if your action is all over the place. You think you're bowling smooth like Josh Hazelwood, but when you see the videos, you're like, your arms are going. Generally, my arms are going everywhere, so it's not a shocking factor to me. Like I had this, but yeah, like let's talk about. Let's cut back to a few months, if not a year ago. Like at least I think exactly going into summer, right? Like
Yeah.
last year. I remember, like I think trying to get some more cricket in. We had more drop-ins going through summer, and you're bowling very quick. I remember you got new shoes, and I remember bowling.
BSC sponsor me.
Where you're bowling rapid and it's just unplayable, which you always are, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm someone who's never been able to pick up your slower balls.
Yeah.
So good at deceiving them.
Yeah.
But your pace had gone up so quickly, and I was like, what is happening? Like, what is he eating? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Talk to me about what happened next, or the sort of initial sort of you realizing that something was not going right for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, as you said, I was bowling at my prime pace, so basically Ravi Ashwin's pace. But no, I felt very confident, and I was very excited for the summer season here in BC. It's called the BC MCL. I was captaining a team, and for the very first time, and again, I don't see myself as much of a leader in that capacity, and it was definitely a bit of like a pressure is privilege kind of situation where I was feeling the pressure of the captaincy. It's mostly logistical management, but like the on-field stuff, and I was, and more than that, I wanted to contribute as a player as well. A captain that leads by example, and I was bowling well, and then we had a game in Chilliwack, which is a beautiful part of BC, and while fielding, I tried throwing one in, and for roughly a year or so, prior to that, my shoulder had been giving me a bit of pain when I was throwing, and this one just felt special. This one was like, you're gone for a few months. Like this one was one of those bangers, right? So it hurt for a good 5 minutes. I was like in throbbing pain. I was still fielding.
Throw was on target or no?
No, it was absurdly wrong.
Of course.
It bounced like 5 steps in front of me, but you got it for run out, So yeah, and then I shrugged it off, which is something you should not do with injuries. And I came into bowl because I was like, I'm the captain here. I can finally decide when I want to bowl. Bowled well, and then we ended up winning the game. I was batting well as well. Everything was going just fine. came back home, and the next morning is when the miracle happened of me not being able to lift my arm anymore.
We had a drop-in that day as well, right? I remember walking into the drop-in at Life Field, and I could straight away sense that something was wrong. And I think you had mentioned that you had an injury.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize how bad it was. Can you tell me, like, on a 1 to 10 pain level on that morning of the drop-in, how bad was it? Like, because I know, like, the fact that you have to leave the drop-in and go back home, I know it must have been pretty bad.
It felt like an 8, I would say. Like it felt quite painful. Like, and more than that, I was just shit scared. What is happening to me?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
You don't know.
I do so many, not in a weird way, but I do so many physical activities that I didn't feel like this should be something that will take me out the way it did.
Because we were gymming, you were swimming, playing cricket so consistently.
Exactly, diving around and and so I just felt like, oh wow, like this is something different. And there was a lot of problem with the diagnosis, and I don't want to throw shade on the Canadian health system, but like it felt very slow on finding out what it exactly was. But yeah, eventually I found out that it was a nerve problem where a nerve got disconnected basically, and because of that I couldn't like lift my arm up, and it was a very scary feeling. But I'll stick to the cricket aspect of it. Like the fact that you go to a drop-in or any match you play and you just can't use one arm of yours, it hurts you mentally. Like it hurts the fact that you can't play that shot anymore, or that is ruled out of the game. You can't bowl, you can't really field, and even when you're catching anything over the head, it's like you can say bye-bye to that. So not that I used to catch anything, but obviously it's an ongoing journey. Right now I'm back to bowling fitness, and I'm working on my throwing, and batting is back to normal, so ducks every weekend. I mean that's what I would say would be my sort of journey into this injury field. It's made me respect a lot of the privileges I had in terms of just playing the sport for what it is. It doesn't have to be about winning all the time. But I want to go into your story as well, with the context of the final PL, and why in the last episode you had mentioned that this may be you being Milkha saying like आखिरी रेस है दौड़ूंगा मैं ऐसे ही.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, firstly, like that was so witnessing your journey through this, like through the months that I had no idea about my own story that was going to be.
Yeah.
I was so inspired, and also so like in awe of how you conducted yourself, because there was no point in which I felt like, okay, he's down, or he's sort of letting the situation get the better of him. You always still turned up at drop-ins, because I'm someone, I know how much bowling means to you. I know how much more than bowling, the fielding means to you, right? You're someone who loves to charge and throw, and the fact that sometimes some drop-ins you were not able to do it, not able to get that run out, or not get that throw in. I could see the frustration. And so like I was so like inspired, and that genuinely has helped me so much over my own journey. So for context, what happened is, I think like the three of us, we started to gym more, and again very, very grateful that we made the plan of going to the gym, of trying to keep up, to keep active and keep fit physically.
Lifting 120 pounds.
No comments. But yeah, like I was very proud of the group, like how we sort of committed to this plan and made sure we were going to the gym.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes when you're not careful about your body, when you're not listening to your body, when you're shrugging things off, like you mentioned earlier, which I completely did, right? And we kind of ego lifting sometimes on a few days, not taking enough rest between sets, not taking enough rest during the entire week. We like training, like going to the gym 4, 5, 6 days a week sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not good for your body sometimes, and you need to listen to your body and kind of take it for granted. So I started to feel this discomfort near my abdominal area.
Yeah.
And so I shrugged it off, and that's what we do, right? Like we just, it's not hurting right now.
Add to that, like so many, spells of bowling that you did.
So and I played pretty much like all the all stars and the PLs and drop-ins, and again, like there was no pain as such,
Yeah.
it's discomfort, so I kind of shrugged it off, which you should never do. Like you said, you should always listen to your body first because health comes first ultimately, right? And so when I went back home in December, I just casually mentioned it to my mom, and it's like, there's kind of a small
कुछ हो रहा है,
कुछ तो हो रहा
कुछ
है,
महसूस हो रहा है.
कुछ महसूस हो रहा है. Maybe I was like, might as well show it to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I was anyways getting my health checkup done, and I was like, might as well, right? We're going there anyway, so what's the harm in asking, is it serious? Is it something I can ignore that I've been doing for the past couple of months? And straight away, without like taking 2 seconds, the doctor examines it, and it's like, this is a bilateral hernia, abdominal hernia.
Damn.
And again, I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea how serious it was. I just knew, okay, I'll need a surgery eventually. So I came back to Vancouver with the thinking, okay, eventually I'll have to go back and have to like look forward to that and think about that. And we had the PL,
Yeah.
and so I knew that I had to go back home after the PL because I didn't want to miss this time in Vancouver, the summertime.
Yeah.
I had to get it done with early on, and I didn't want to exert as well because like you said, Canadian healthcare system we can't really trust. So I was like, I have to go back home, get it done. Can't let it get worse over here. Because you never know if there's an emergency here. I don't know where to go and whether it'll get fixed here or not. So had to go back home after the PL, and I knew that was the last game I was going to play because abdominal hernia, the way it works is you will need a surgery. It's not the most extensive surgery. It's it's minimally invasive. It's what they call it, laparoscopic and whatever. It doesn't take too much time either.
Yeah.
Only thing is you cannot have any physical activity. No gymming for 4 to 6 months. No cricket for 4 to 6 months. And that was the biggest challenge for me. Cricket has always been the thing I look forward to at the end of the week after courses, after during university, after the courses, like the week.
Yeah.
Look forward to weekend drop in. Now after job, you look forward to weekend drop in.
Yeah.
That's sort of the escape that we had.
Yeah.
And I had for these many months, and knowing that I would not be getting that, not that there are any drop-ins happening now either, but the fact that I would not be able to play any cricket is obviously been very tough. And the surgery itself went well, and recovery was okay. It was painful, but my first surgery, that was an experience, right?
Yeah.
Big accomplishment, ticked off, first surgery done.
Felt like an athlete.
Felt like oh yeah, for sure. So now my struggle is there. I've struggled in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, now the recovery is on. I think 1.5, almost 2 months done. So like that's the thing. I took inspiration from your sort of the kind of attitude you showed, the main character you showed after going through an injury which completely it didn't allow you to bowl field, and that was like, okay, I need to fight through this, and I know that it'll teach me a lot of lessons. So talk to me about how, or did it like teach you anything in particular when you were not able to field or bowl or bat like the way you wanted to?
I think and I'm glad you're doing well in this journey. Obviously I didn't hope for you to go through this journey, but the fact that you're doing so well in this journey is amazing. And I don't want to call ourselves athletes, but any person who plays sport, any person who does cricket specifically, it happens to them, and it's almost like a part and parcel of the game. The game has given us so much, and I guess it's not a way of like, oh, this is the sacrifice, but it's because it meant so much to us. I guess we did get injured in the process. And in terms of the learnings itself, I just feel a big part of it, as you mentioned, the fact that bowling meant so much, and like the fielding aspect of not being a burden on the field, me creating those opportunities for us to win. And I think what I've learned, and I've said this before, is that losing also is a privilege. Like the fact that you get to play, and the fact that it means so much that you feel sad while losing, that in itself is a privilege. So I've learned to reset my baseline, that take the small wins.
Correct. Yeah.
Like today you could pick up the ball properly, tomorrow you can throw underarm, day after you can maybe go overarm, right? So it's the small wins. And then another thing was like, just let your ego down. You were the great former player. I talk as if I'm Sachin, but like
no, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yes,
you have to humble yourself down.
Exactly. You got to set a new baseline and understand that everybody else may not give you mercy for whatever you're going through. They still might be as competitive, which is what makes it fun. Nobody wants a pity party. Everybody makes it as they're still very competitive and they'll still celebrate when they get your wicket. But you need to understand you are at a different baseline now. And I just feel like that's been like my learnings from it, just being grateful for whatever there is and just understanding this is the new baseline.
Yeah, it gives you new perspective to think about. I mean, like, it's so difficult, obviously easier said than done, but the way that you've actually practiced and showed that it's possible to actually think about it differently, think about it positively, like, it shows so much strength. And like I said, like, it's inspirational for
And
to
always have chits of whoever celebrated and then now go through them.
and take it down, celebrate. The list of players, and I know MK will be at the top, and he knows it as well.
Maybe you are at the top.
But yeah, like, and talking about the ongoing journey, and because I'm someone who, you know, takes a lot of pride, like you, in my fielding, and just the fact that I was able to dive and take catches and dive around, say, boundaries, like, that's something I really enjoy, and I, you know, pride myself in that I'm able to do it at this age as well. Umar ho gayi hai. No, but that's like, I've always loved fielding. That's the thing. Like, I love bowling quick. I love fielding, and the fact that that's now gone, it definitely is a big blow, right? Like, it's not easy to just say, okay, it's fine, I'm not going to play for the next 6 months, it's fine. But that's the thing, you have to look at it differently, like you have, and look at the small wins and look at the positives and celebrate each small win, and take one day at a time. I think that's the only way that you go through this. And talking about inspiration, like, I remember you know, watching a very, very good content creator on Instagram, Josh Greenwood, shout out. And he makes some amazing content around fitness, around his journey with arthritis at the age of 23, so my age as well. So the fact that he's going through something much more serious, like, there's no comparison in terms of injury, right? And just the fact that someone can go through that injury and still look at life positively, still then resume his fitness in whatever way he could, it just inspires you. And there are inspirations all around, like, right from you, then I watch his content and other people as well online, but even right at my home as well, you know, looking at my mom, and she suffered through a meniscus tear in her left knee, and she's a fitness instructor as well, so she's also had to stop her classes. So there are inspirations all around you, and so it just takes perspective, it just takes time to pause, you know, just take a better perspective and take a step back and look around you at the sort of positives around you, inspirations around you. So that has definitely helped me.
And it is okay to take your time. It is okay to sulk and feel, you know, almost bad about it, because it meant so much. Correct. Right? But yeah, as you said, inspirations are all around us, and, you know, like, just to name a few in the cricketing world, you know, like, not that I'm comparing in any way our story to his, but Yuvraj Singh, at the prime of his career, just won the Player of the Tournament in the World Cup. For him to go through that near-death experience and still come back, and I mean, more recently Rishabh Pant, of course, and Mushir Khan, not to mention even his accident story. So it's cricket. I think it teaches, and I think we learned it from the great man Virat Kohli, that there's always a day 2, there's always a day 3, and life in that way is a bit like Test cricket. So yeah, we are on our journeys, and hopefully in day 5 the game gets washed out.
And to add to that list, Surya Sharma, who's probably top of the list there.
Top of the list.
Headband, absolute legend. But yeah, he's also someone who went through, in fact, 3 hernias that he had. Jeez. So I had a bilateral inguinal hernia. He had 3 hernias before the IPL.
No, okay.
Before the IPL, the doctor said he may not even play the IPL. This is probably last year's IPL as well, the one we won. Just to remind you. And the fact that within 4 months he was back to bowling at his best. It's again inspiration as well, that it is possible. There is light at the end of the tunnel. To again take one day at a time, to not get ahead of yourself. Obviously, trust your body, listen to your body, you know, and have that long-term sort of a thinking. You know, you can't think about, okay, now I need to go bowl, because that will ultimately ruin the recovery, and you have to have that perspective, which is not easy to have, like you said. So it'll take time.
Exactly. And yeah, audience, I hope you're also having perspective that this podcast will get better. We will find more content.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. Season 5.
But yeah, this has been a definitely interesting episode, very reflective, very personal episode for us, and I'm glad, you know, you're with us in this journey, and We hope to see you in the next one. Again, comment down below on what you want to cover.
We're out of ideas.
We don't really want to cover Pakistan losing to Bangladesh.
Who wants to? Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you.